How's it going?
Good.
Another beautiful day in Seattle.
So how are you on game day typically? I mean, it's going to be a fairly long day for you guys. Are you one of those guys that wants to get out there right away and go? Do you have the butterflies going?
Oh yeah, I mean it's if you've done the preparation correctly, you're still gonna have those butterflies, but you're just more excited and ready to go. And we've done so much preparing all the way back from January on. We already know we knew who we were playing opening day, so we've done so much preparation for this game against Hawaii. That's just going to be very nice to watch these guys roll out there and play.
And when you signed these guys back in February, did you in the back of your mind think Budda's a pretty special talent? Could you see him doing what he's done right now to get to this point?
Yeah, no question. And even some of these other guys, I mean, we knew they were talented players, and we also saw currently what we had on the roster, and we knew that, hey, these 4 to 5 of these guys are going to end up playing. And so, right now, obviously you see Budda as a starter. Some of these other guys, they're going to be in there playing too. They may not start the game, but they may be in the third series. And so it's going to be fun to watch all these young guys fly around.
How did that competition there sort of shake out, and how did Budda separate himself?
Mm-hmm. I think I said this last week. We try to measure their effort. They have to go 40 seconds from point A to point B every single play they're in there, and he did that a million miles an hour. If he was making a mistake, he was flying around and he was making it as hard as he could. Or if he was making the right play, he was flying around too. So just his effort and also picking up the defenses as we were installing them was very, very impressive. His attention to detail, and now we still have to go prove this on game day. Just because you're penciled as a starter, I mean no one's done anything in our secondary except for one person. And so we have a lot to prove in the back end.
What is it about him that makes him such a special safety, even though his size you'd think almost alludes more to like a corner?
Mm-hmm. His toughness, very, very tough. He's the type of guy that you have to slow down during practice. You're like, hey, this is thud tempo. It's not live. I mean, he wants to fly around there and hit people. He's very instinctive. And there's a lot of guys that over the years of football that you can say were undersized, but they're extremely tough. I mean, I think we have one of the best undersized safeties in the world right down the street, the Seattle Seahawks, and Earl Thomas. Everyone said he was too undersized coming out of Texas, but you see how fast he plays, how tough he plays, how instinctive he is, and how much he studies the game, and that sets him apart.
Is it fair or unfair right now for people to kind of talk in the same tones with Budda and a guy like Earl Thomas? I mean, obviously Budda hasn't done anything yet, but
exactly
what he did in his Bellevue career, I mean, people seem to want to feel like he's on the same kind of path.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare him to anybody right now. I mean, he still has not played a college football game. We want to start breaking comparisons after game 10, game 11, after we've done some things. I mean, I wouldn't even make that comparison after game 1. These guys got to understand, one game and all right, we're on to the next game. Win, lose, whatever, let's go. We'll move on to the next game. So, that's for the stories for you guys to write, but we're not going to compare him to any great player as Earl Thomas.
Has there been any residue in terms of his play rubbing off on some of the other younger guys in his class, in terms of them seeing him play and having them kind of up their play as a result?
It's so early. I mean, we're still in training camp, and now we're in the game week mode. We still haven't played a game yet, so I think that'll start to rub off as we get into game time, and we see how that transitions into a game. And so, I think that effect of a young guy on a team is going to be when he starts making plays on game day. And obviously, we haven't played a game yet, so I don't think you're going to see that effect happen.
And what about Marcus Peters kind of taking ownership of the leader, being the leader of the group, and kind of taking that next step in his development?
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with him. He's come in to work every day. Some new information thrown at him, new plays, new techniques, new ways to do things, and he's grasped onto them, and it's going to help him become a better football player. And I've really loved that he's been open-minded, and he's come to work every single day, and now it's just about that grind of day in, day out, of bringing that same energy and that same focus.
And just, obviously we had the door open, we couldn't see practice, but we could still hear the horn. Mm-hmm. It seems like the ability of you guys to maybe create some turnovers and whatnot has kind of been consistent throughout camp. Is that something you've been pleased with?
It is. I mean, that's our job. Our job is to score or get the ball back. We're trying to score on defense. If we can't score, we're trying to secure the ball for our offense. And we may have different calls, be ready for different situations, first down, second down, third down. But our guys know what our job is when we take the field is to get the ball back for the offense.
This is practice, but who's kind of the leader on the board right now with those interceptions, those takeaways?
Let's see. It was in our room. Brandon Beaver won the best hands in the room. That we have a little award that goes in training camp, and he had the most interceptions. So it was a tie race.
What are some things that Ryan Clay did to earn a scholarship?
Yeah, he brought his lunch pail to work every single day, and he was ready. He was ready to work and ready to grind. He is a great reserve safety for us right now. Knows both safety spots. Also knows corner. Played a lot of corner in spring, and is just going to be a huge special teams asset for us. And a guy that comes to work every day like that, we have to respect. And he's going to do so many things for us this year. It was just a well-deserved scholarship.
Is there anything extra you have to do with such a young group, Jimmy? In the first, right out of the gate, you have to go on a 5-hour plane flight, and deal. I know you've dealt with going to Hawaii in the past and whatnot, but are there anything special you have to do, given the youth of the group?
No question. I mean, there's a ton of things. I mean, a lot more tests given out, a lot more pop quizzes. Make sure these guys are on the details of the defense. Walkthroughs before practice, walkthroughs after practice. Really got to spend a lot more time with these guys to make sure they're really on the details of the defense and what their techniques are and what we're calling for them in the scheme. And so, as we move forward and we get on that plane, they're going to expect to see a quiz there right in front of them. Don't take a nap just yet. Don't eat your lunch. They're going to be tested all the way through until game time.
And I know we saw some of the young guys on the two deeps, but any other of the true freshmen that are expected to travel?
No, just the guys on the two deep right there. Those are the guys that will travel and most likely play.
Coach, when you...
Thanks,
Sorry, one more question.
Yep.
Naijiel Hale has worked his way onto the two deep, and he's really impressed throughout fall camp. What have you seen from him that has shown you that he is ready to step on the field?
Yeah, it was the same things that we saw in high school. He was a very ferocious player, very, very tough, very instinctive, and he's really brought that the first couple of weeks here in training camp and then moving into game week. As a coach, you just always have to respect those guys that are tough football players, and Nigel is one of those guys. And now it's just on him to really learn his role in this defense and what he needs to do to excel as a corner. And as soon as he gets that figured out, combined with that ferociousness, we're going to have something special.